Hi everybody! Welcome back to Shane's Book Nook. If this is your first time here, hello, welcome. I'm Shane and here is where I do book unboxings and book reviews. So today I will be doing brief reviews because these books are all long overdue and there's a lot. So to kick this off, we are going to talk about the Holy Bloodline series. This one, love it. Love it. The plot was good, the written characters was good, the character development was really good, the world building. I couldn't put this series down. I had to keep going. I read this in maybe a week and a half, if that, all 4 books. And it was so good. Um, she does have another series, Deanne Hoke says she has another series that's about dragons and everything. I would also recommend reading that one. The first book is called King of the Air, but it's really good, and that one is also phenomenal. So definitely give D.N. Hoxa, sorry, I can't pronounce her last name, but just definitely give this author a try. Her writing is amazing. Next up, we have Haunting Adeline. Now, I know people raved about this book and gave it 5 stars and everything on TikTok and everything. I disagree. The grammar was poor, the romance was meh, plus there were things that Z, whatever his name is, did to Adeline that just are physically impossible to be done without medical intervention afterwards. So, also the side plot of Adeline's grandmother and her stalker, I was more invested in that story than Adeline and Zaid. Zaid, that's his name. Now, I will say for the spin-off Satan's Affair here, I love that one. The grammar was better, the character was amazing, like the way that Carlton described how she was feeling in that book and everything was phenomenal. However, when I read Haunting Adeline and I couldn't get past the grammar issues nor her writing style, I refused to read Haunting Adeline. So take that with what you will, but I will not be reading any more Carlton books. Sorry. So the next book I have is Quicksilver. I just bought the sequel to this one, and I'm so excited to get started on it. However, I have to finish the book that I'm reading now first. But this, there were plot twists that I did not expect, along with the fact that the character development for not just our MC, Saris, but for also Kingfisher was great. I loved how they kind of like hated each other. It was a good enemies to lovers romance. Like they weren't really enemies, but they didn't get along when they first met, and I loved that. But then they started to get to know each other better and mesh well together, plus all their friends and everything were able to be together pretty well. So definitely loved this one. I own the second book. So as soon as I'm done reading the book that I have now, I'm definitely going to read the sequel to this one. So keep an eye out for that review next year. So next one was something that was actually recommended to me by a old childhood friend of mine. She's in the Navy, and when she was out at sea, she was very bored, obviously. So she read this book series, and we caught up with each other a few months ago, and she suggested this series to me. The Four Horsemen. Never did I think I would enjoy a book series based around the riders of the apocalypse, considering they're in the Bible. And I like the Bible stories, I just don't believe them, kind of thing. But Honestly, out of all of these ones, War and Death were my favorites. They were amazing. I love them so much. I definitely give this series 5 stars, and I might give it a few years and I'll probably reread this series because it was that good. I definitely recommend reading The Four Horsemen. Next one, Bound by War. Now, some of you may remember when I did the book review for the first book, Fire and Brimstone. I'm pretty sure they redid the title since then, but this is the second book, and man, poor Kai. Poor Kai. She is dealing with so much. She has so much getting thrown at her. She has an army that she's trying to raise. Her boyfriend breaks up with her. So now she's trying to figure out how to go about getting this army together to go against Codus and everything. But this one, I might reread it along with the first book when the next one comes out. But it did take me a little bit to get through this one. Just a little bit. I liked it, but it wasn't one of my favorites for the year. So the next one we got is Soul of the Stone. Now, if you remember, I read Sign of the Slayer by her, and it was so good. Oh my god. However, this one was a little disappointing. I ain't gonna lie. It took me a little bit to get through here. It wasn't fast-paced or anything like that when I read this one, like the first one was. However, I did enjoy this, and the character development for the character in here, plus everyone else around them, was pretty good. I'm gonna be honest, I can't remember much of the plot. I really can't. And I've sat here and I've thought about it, and I really can't remember much of the plot at all. So that might be a reread before the third book comes out. So next we have Unbound. Now, this book I did not expect to read. It popped up in my Kindle Unlimited suggestions. So I read what it was about and intrigued me. So I read it, and I'm glad that I did because this was one of the best books I've read for 2025 this year. It was phenomenal. I loved it so much. It was so good. The fact that the one person she trusted ended up being her biggest, how do I put this without spoiling it? I'll just say the person she trusted the most she shouldn't have. And the person she started to trust the least, she should have trusted the most. So I definitely recommend reading Unbound. The second book should be out sometime next year, I believe. So keep your eye out for when I get that one and read it. But oh my god, Unbound is so good. So good. Okay. So there is an author that I found recently, and it's because of her book goblin videos that she posts on her Instagram and TikTok. I love her book goblin videos. They are hilarious. They make me want to have a little book goblin plushie, which she does have. Eventually I will get one. But the next series I have is this one by Elizabeth Wheatley. I was expecting her books to be a little longer, but they're not, and that's great. The romance that she has between, I can't remember their names right now. I know the guy's name starts with a C, but I can't remember the girl's name. But anyway, the fact that this stems from an arranged marriage and that they eventually actually do fall in love with each other is beautiful. They are right there beside each other. They are everything the other one needed. They listen to each other, they communicate. It's amazing. Elizabeth, she is a great writer. She's a great storyteller, and I can't wait to read her Dangerous Assassin books. So keep an eye out for that one coming up. But these two, these were definitely two of the best books that I've read this year, and I read them all on my phone. I don't have physical copies of them. They are on my phone. So definitely keep an eye out for those ones. After that, we have Flameborn. She is the first female dragon rider chosen. And she ends up mated to her instructor because his dragon is her dragon's mate. So the two of them have to figure out how to keep their relationship on the down low, because obviously student-teacher relationships are frowned upon. And while they're navigating that, she's also navigating how to learn to be a dragon rider, as well as how to be the only female on the campus, and trying to achieve all the activities and challenges that they are presented. There is another series. I call it a series because it's not under the Flameborn series. It's on Amy Lynn titled it Shadowborn, I believe. But it centers around all the characters in this lovely book right here. So I would definitely be reading the Shadowborn books when they come out. I think it's Shadowborn. But definitely we'll be reading those when they come out. The next ones I have are by the same author. They're kind of within the same universe, but they don't, like, the characters in one book don't know each other in the other book, but it's the same universe. So I got Enigma and Gothicana by Runix. These books, man. They were so good. I love them so much. I can't wait to find more books by her and read them. Because her gothic romance, dark stories are amazing. They are so good. And just like knowing that these two books are within the same universe is interesting. You got one who's trying to figure out a mystery of her sister, and the other one is trying to figure out how to really navigate a relationship with someone who is deemed like the best artist of the world, kind of thing. So it's honestly really good, and I really did enjoy these books. Best ones of the year so far. Now, this next book I was recommended by my cousin. She really enjoyed it. Heartless Heathens. I liked it. I did. It kind of makes me think of where the world is going, per se, with religion and politics and whatnot, which is not something I really get into because I'm not interested in that. However, this book, if you've ever watched The Hunchback of Notre Dame with Lord Frollo, he's in here. Kind of. There is a priest in here named Lord Frollo who raises a girl at the top of a tower, and she rings the bells every hour, just like Quasimodo. However, 3 boys move into the bottom of the tower because they demanded to, and they find her and they find out her heritage, who she is, her history with Lord Frollo, as well as everything else. And from there, it's all just one big roller coaster. but it's an enjoyable roller coaster. So, not one of my favorites for the year, but it's definitely up there. So, definitely give this a try. I ain't gonna lie. Now, I do have some other books. However, those copies are at home because they're physical copies. And I like to show the covers and everything of what I read so you guys know exactly what it is that you're looking for. But I will give you the titles of them now. So, one was Play Nice. By the way, all of these books are not meant for anyone under the age of 18. So, do with that info what you will. But we got Play Nice, which is definitely not a under 18 book. Definitely be old enough to understand that. The second book is called The Ghostwriter. Now, if I remember correctly, there isn't really much info on there that can't be only for 18 and up. I do recommend you should be at least 16 when reading this book, because then you'll understand a little things a bit better. And for the third book, was Rebel Witch, The Crimson Moth Book 2. And I was anticipating that book. And oh my god, guys, it was so good. I loved it so much. But yeah, those are all the books that I needed to review. So I will catch you guys in the next one.
Hey guys, just popping in here to show you the books that I talked about in my last or earlier in the video. So we got Play Nice. Like I said, it was House is Haunted, smidge of romance, not a lot, but this one was pretty good. It was great to read around Halloween. Definitely not for children to read. Just FYI, Siggy, get out of the box. But yeah, here's Play Nice. I really enjoyed it. So there's I would love if there was another like spin-off about her sisters, but at the same time I'm kind of glad that there's not. And they just focused on the youngest sister in here. But this one was really good. I enjoyed this book. So the next one we have, like I said, it's called The Ghostwriter. And like I said, this one is all about a daughter writing a memoir for her dad about her aunt and uncle's death when long before she was born. Sigmund. Y'all, my cat keeps trying to get in the damn box, thinking that he fits. Little bitty kitty don't fit in a box like this. He too big. But yes, this is all about a daughter ghostwriting her dad's memoir because he's going to confess, well, not really confess, but talk about his brother and sister's murders from the 80s. So this was really good. I highly enjoyed it. I did not expect it to go the way that it did, but I would definitely give this a read. And then the last book that I mentioned was Rebel Witch. I loved the ending. There were some things I did not expect, but there were also things that were kind of predictable. I can't remember how detailed some of the romance scenes were, we'll say, but I definitely enjoyed reading this sequel, and I'm kind of sad that there's not going to be a next one, but at the same time, this is totally worth the read. So definitely give these a check out. Um, so yeah, these were all the books that I have read from June to October? November? Yeah, June to November. So Thanks, guys, and I will see you guys later. Bye.